Qudisah Muhammad, here with my assistant.
Yes, Marcus Aceves-Lewis, her assistant, also co-host, we like to say, but hasn't really gotten with her yet. But yeah, co-host Marcus Aceves-Lewis. Just here to catch you guys up on who we are a little bit, get a little taste of where we're from, about just a little bit about ourselves. To be asking each other some questions about each other, just to help you guys familiarize yourselves with us.
So I guess we'll get started. I guess I'll start by asking you, what's your age, your grade, where you go to school, a few aspirations,
Sure.
what you plan to go into.
Yeah. Well, my age, I'm 17. I go to the St. Constantine School. It's a small private school out by HBU. I also take classes at HCC a couple of days of the week, and I've been doing that since I was about 13 or 14. So it's been a fun time taking college classes with adults. It's been fun. What was your other question?
Aspirations.
Aspirations. I've always, I don't know, I find myself always leading towards science, like STEM for sure.
What's your favorite type of science?
Probably like biology for sure. Like I've taken biology, physics, science, like all these different sciences, but biology is super fun for me. And I do art and I play a bunch of sports, but I feel like STEM is really the right choice for me. But I mean, there's so many to pick from, so I'm not sure what I want to do yet.
Any colleges you looking at?
Chicago at the moment, but I mean, I'm always open to something else. There's just way too many college options out there to pick from, but we'll see. You're interested in psychology, right?
Yes.
Where'd that come from?
Well, originally, like you, I was interested in the sciences. I actually wanted to be a medical doctor.
Okay.
But it was more so because I knew I would make money. And then I was a part of this program called Saturday Morning Science.
Yeah, okay.
And they showed this knee replacement surgery, and my knees got weak. I started shaking. I wanted to throw up. I was like, no. So automatically I knew that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I'm not too big in math, but I knew that going into the sciences would make me money. So I was just like, okay, well, that's what sounds good. I'll just go with that. But automatically, off the bat, once I knew that medicine wasn't for me, I was just like, psychology. It just popped up into my head.
That's too funny.
And originally when I started telling people, making a switch from medicine to psychology, people see that as a downgrade. You're gonna be broke, people don't make money, you're gonna be depressed, all of these things, just people in my head telling me I need to go in a different direction. But it was what I was really passionate about, and I never wavered. So now here I am.
Wow. That's honestly, I envy that kind of. I'm so undecided. I'm so horrible at making decisions. But yeah. I mean, do you know what kind of psychology you want to go into?
That I don't know. Even when I wanted to do medicine, I wanted to do pediatrics. I've always had wanted to be around children. So I'm thinking maybe psychology of adolescents, maybe. But even then, adults too, it calls me. So I'm not sure yet.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
You got time.
Yeah, for sure.
You can, I guess, your turn to answer age and school and all that, whatever else you want to.
I'm 16 years old. I attend, a small private school called the Elevated Places in Houston, Texas. I also go to HCC. I started at 13. I am one class away from my associate's degree, so please pray for me.
I got you.
I'm going to be a senior in the upcoming school year in the fall.
Yeah.
And like we spoke, I want to go into psychology, and right now I'm looking at University of Houston Central.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that also just popped in your head?
No.
Go to school?
To be honest with you, I think it started from a place of insecurity. I didn't think that I could get into an Ivy League.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just let me just go for something. And I was going to graduate early. Originally, I was going to graduate at 16.
Right.
So I was going to go somewhere local. But then I was I didn't feel confident that I could get into an Ivy League. So I was okay, I'm going to go somewhere local, U of H, But then my dad, he also went to U of H, and
Okay.
he said, you know, it's a tier 1 school. It's something that you should really take seriously.
Yeah.
I did tours, and then it wasn't from a place of insecurity anymore. I actually really loved it. So that's that.
Yeah.
Rest is history.
Perfect. Yeah, honestly, with all this Corona stuff, all the SATs, we don't gotta
Oh,
worry.
God.
We don't even have to worry about that anymore.
And no, I'm taking
God.
the SAT.
You're still
You
gonna
need to
take
take the SAT.
I don't want to take it at all.
You need to take it. I actually
SAT prep is the worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
Yeah, I was just
Not
on
looking
YouTube
forward
the
to it.
other day, like doing math. That I do good with the reading,
Yeah.
good with the writing, but math, I get like a 4. I promise
Honestly,
you. I promise
It's got
you.
all these trick questions.
I
like,
promise you.
I'm like,
I promise you.
unnecessary.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I took the PSAT and I got like a 1080. So I have some work to do.
It's not bad.
I have some work
It's
to do.
not
I'm
bad.
not getting any scholarships for the
Yeah,
1080.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you taken like any PSAT or anything
I
practice?
have. Yeah, I got like 12 something. I was like, because my
I
my
would
older
take a
brother,
12
got
over
a
10.
1490
Oh,
when he was a
Yeah, you
senior.
have some
So
work
it's
to
like
do.
I'm
kind of in his
gotta live
shadow
up to
right
that
now.
standard just
Yeah.
a little bit. But
Yeah.
you know, I'll be my own person for now.
Maybe you should try to be like your brother in that in that instance.
Sure.
You should
Yeah.
definitely go in
No,
your
I just-
direction, your own direction.
Yeah.
But in that instance,
No
you
need for
might
individuality at all.
Not with
I'll
the
just be the
SAT.
same, just copy paste for sure.
not with the SAT. Everything else, yeah, but not with the SAT.
I got you. All right, so we talked a bit about ourselves. I guess we can kind of transition to like a broader
Mm-hmm.
about how we're doing with the whole circumstances of COVID, Black Lives Matter, and how we're being affected personally. I know personally I've been affected so much, but I kind of want to hear from your perspective on how you've been doing during all this COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter stuff, like how that's been affecting like your mental health, your state of mind, just how you interact with people. Or not even at all because of COVID.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Interact on
Social.
Instagram, yeah.
How's that been for you? Because like my experience has been pretty different from other people's.
Right. So from the beginning, like when it all first broke out, I say it really hit hard, like in March.
Mm-hmm.
Just started a new
Honestly.
semester at HCC. So I had to make that transition from in-person classes to everything online. And at first I'll admit, I was a little excited. I was like, I get to be at home. I don't have to go into school every day. No school, no school, no school. Then it started getting a little bit heavier. Of course, there was that fear. First, there was rumors, the
Yeah.
youth don't get it. Just so much propaganda.
It was so frustrating because it's like,
Yeah.
wait, if we can't get it, then like, why are we like? I just want to go to school. Like,
That's what you said?
no, yeah, because it's like I'm healthy, I'm fit, I got a great
Yeah.
immune system. I just want to go to school. I'm not gonna get sick. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's dumb, but like yeah.
Yeah, I know I was particularly cautious because I do have a younger sister, and then my
Oh,
parents
yeah.
are older. So I was like, even if I'm fine when I contract it, I could risk giving it to somebody whose
That's-
immune system
that's fair.
isn't as well as mine.
That's fair.
So yeah, making that transition was interesting, but it all worked out in the end. Dean's List. Woo-hoo.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it all worked
Flex.
out. Can't relate, I know. It all worked out pretty well. From a mental health perspective, I think that I had a lot of things about myself that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And of course, like you pick up these things, but you're so busy, you're doing so much. So it's like you don't really
Yeah.
get the opportunity to focus on do any self-reflection, meditation, journaling.
Honestly.
But throughout this time, I've had the opportunity to do that. And, I'm perfect now. No, but
Oh yeah, you just
I'm perfect
you
now.
found your inner peace.
Yeah, no,
Aligned
but
all your chakras.
yeah,
You
yeah.
found your inner peace.
Of course, I'm still working on things, but
Yeah.
now because of COVID, I have had the opportunity. So I can say that it's definitely a blessing in disguise. Of
Yeah.
course, with all the death and things that's been going on,
Mhm.
it's not something that I'm happy about. But I was
Yeah,
able
for
to,
sure.
I guess, see the good in the bad. The good in the bad.
The good and the bad. Yeah.
Right. With Black Lives Matter, from a mental health perspective, it was definitely difficult.
Yeah.
Seeing somebody who looks like you, seeing somebody who looks like your brother, who looks like your father, your uncle, being just like brutally murdered with no regard, that was
Mhm.
definitely difficult seeing. And of course, it's not the first time that we've seen something like this.
Right.
But I would say it was beautiful seeing people taking to the streets, you know, the protests, seeing everybody come together. It has had, you know, the riots and the looting. That's been interesting to see. But I think that it's beautiful how everybody has come together, and I hope that it doesn't stop. I don't want it to just be something based off of emotion. Yeah. Oh, we're all upset, so now let's take to the streets. But then, you know, I'm cooled down now, so let's just go back to normal.
Absolutely.
Because it'll happen again, and we have to do something to spark change. But what about you?
Yeah. Honestly, same with the COVID thing. I was excited at first. I thought it was going to be like a quick month or two. And just been like, a little quick staycation, come back. I'll be fine. No problems. And then it just kept coming. And another week and another week. And I was like, oh, whole semester's canceled.
Right.
And I was devastated because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be my junior year. The rest of my junior year, I was actually looking forward to a lot of things.
Right.
I was on JV track team. I was about to be varsity track team, and this was going to be my year to like really be like really good, and it just totally got canceled. So that really hit really hard for me. And then just started figuring out, you know, who my real friends were. That's a big thing. Like a lot of people, people just started to realize, like, oh wow, I don't have as many real friends as I thought I did. Like, you know, you go to school, yeah, you just talk to anybody because like they're there, and then like, you know, you come back and you're like, oh wait, like there's really not as many people hitting me up. You know, there's a lot of people that are, you know, hurtful, a lot of people that just aren't genuine or sincere. So that was, for mental health, that was really tough to deal with. Thankfully, I had my family. My brother came from college, so he stayed with me to be there to kind of help out a little bit. But it was rough to find motivation to get stuff done. Oh my gosh, like it was just backed up homework. But I mean, in the end, it worked out. Like you said, finding the good and the bad. A lot of self-reflection on, you know, who I am, not like apart from society. Figuring out who you are, and a lot of memes too, for sure. That
Instagram has definitely been like medicine.
So much. With the Black Lives Matter thing, that's been tough for me because I am half African American and half Hispanic, so it's been a challenge for me to figure out like which people group I belong to. And it's like, you know, on one side, you know, I'm with the Mexicans. On the other side, I'm with, you know, African Americans, and I was brought up a little bit more, you know, like in private school system, homeschooled, so I have a bit more education, and so many people see me as more Caucasian. So it's just a matter of, it's a very difficult time for me to like personal reflection, figuring out where I belong. But in this time, it's really like shown me, in this time, it's my time to be with my people, like to stand up and like feel their feelings, even though I don't feel like the injustice because of my skin color is a little bit different. Like I did still, like my dad has had that injustice. I actually have had some injustice, not because of my skin color, just other reasons from police. But just it's helped me to reflect on where I come from and like who I am deep down, without having society tell me who I am, having to figure that out, like where I belong. And it's really shown me that I belong, you know, to fight for and support my people. Even though I'm from many different people groups, I think that's an advantage for me to be there for more than one people group.
And advocate for both.
And as a unity, for sure. But it's been challenging for sure to see that, and heartbreaking to hear all the stories and experiences, just things happening not far from my own home, and personal experiences. It's just been it's been a lot to deal with for sure, but
so
it's been encouraging.
How are you coping?
Coping? I mean, we just have lots of conversations. Like my dad would just, you know, during dinner or after dinner, just spark conversation with, you know, how is this affecting you? He'll ask, you know, how do you feel? Because he knows, you know, I am biracial. You know, I'm not raised in certain police oppressed places. My skin color kind of helps me like fall under the radar a little bit. But he'll, have check-ins about, how I should feel about certain things and,
Right.
How I feel about them. So, I mean, it's been very, very good experience so far. And just, it's insane to watch. I mean, this basically the same thing with the riots and the protests and all this racial injustice, the same thing that happened in the civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s. It's happening all over again. It's crazy to see. And
For
it's just
sure.
40, 50 years later, nothing's changed.
The
But,
same thing, right?
Seeing where we play a part to bring about change, which is why I'm here, honestly, to see what I can do to bring about change, because I'm tired of just sitting on the couch and
Yeah.
reading the stories and watching the TV and hearing through, word of mouth about what's going on. It's like, no, I'm old enough to just not sit on the sidelines.
Mhm.
This is going on. There are other people out there doing things. It's time for, myself and others to step up and do something
Right.
about it as well, because we're not helpless. We can do stuff.
We want to thank you for joining us here at Taps Talk. I am your host, Qudisah Muhammad.
Yes.
This is my assistant/co-host.
Marcus.
And if you like what you saw here today, please be sure to like, comment what you would like to see, and
Smash
subscribe
that like.
down below. And we will be sure to come back with more interesting topics, dynamic guests, and whatever it is you all would like to see. Thank you for joining us.